Instructional plan. We're now going to get into the instructional plan and in a hybrid model as we start to phase in-person instruction. Transitioning to in-person if our phased-in approach. We started the 2021 school year in a distant learning format, including a phased-in approach beginning with our elementary students and then moving to secondary depending on the safety and guidance from our public health officials and some of the metrics that we use. Families had a choice at the start of the year to what model they wanted to pick. Some families decided to go with a phased-in approach, which we started the school year in a distant or virtual learning format. We are now moving into the next phase of that, which is going to be to in-person learning, starting with pre-K through 6th grade. Another sector was our all virtual model through Ingenuity, which was called Wayne Westland Online. And the families that picked that model had the chance to change their mind at the semester break or continue with Ingenuity throughout the course of the year. The decision was made at the start of the year semester by each student and family that the decision will be in effect for this first semester, which we're in right now. Wayne Westland K-12 Online Virtual Academy is a completely online option for families, and enrollment was held from March to August. If people started in that model, they have to stay in that model till the end of the semester before they make their choice if they want to continue. This is a recommendation, and again, I want to talk about our instructional plan. This is a recommendation to the school board, and again, from the school board, they will vote of what our next steps are going to be. So the implementation and timeline, this is a recommended timeline. So September 21st, the Special Education Department began student evaluations with individual and small group testing. Through this testing, they started building contingency plans to phase some of our students back into in-person learning. September 28th, clubs and activities were able to start using the district's facilities to meet. All social distancing policies remained in effect. Interior facilities will not be rented to external organizations. Exterior facilities are now available for external organizations and rentals, such as junior football or soccer leagues can rent some of our field space. October 12th, we were going to have a in-person board meeting, but again, in lieu of that, we are releasing this video that you're watching now. We are looking to have a board meeting October 29th, where we're going to discuss this plan and take a vote on it. November 9th, and again, this is a recommendation, pre-K through 6th grade and all Stottlemyer students return to in-person learning using a hybrid model 2 days a week. On this date, we will begin to bring back some of our special education students as well. December 21st through January 1st is our winter break. And again, dates to be determined, our 9th through 12th grade will report to their school to take their final exam. January 19th, 7th through 12th graders return to in-person learning using a hybrid model 2 days a week. Special education students in grades 7 through 12 who receive teacher consultant or resource room services return to in-person learning. Just a reminder that make it easier for families, our models from pre-K through 6th grade will mirror at the 7th through 12th grade level to make it easier on families. Implementation timeline. There was careful and deliberate meetings with a lot of different stakeholder groups throughout the whole planning process. This approach has been an integral part of our ability to move forward with in-person learning for our students and families. The recommendation during stage 1, the following programs will return to in-person learning. Preschool, Stottlemyer programs beginning the week of November 9th. Kindergarten through 6th grade, students currently learning in distance learning will return on Monday, the week of Monday, November 9th. Selected special education programs will begin the week of November 9th. High school and middle school athletics, the programs are currently underway and they will be going on as well. The hybrid model for full day learning. A hybrid model is a blend of distant learning environment and in-person learning with your Wayne Westland Community School classroom teacher. The hybrid model meets the planning goals in several important ways. One is the health and safety. By bringing students back to school in smaller groups, greater opportunities exist for creating social distance between students and reducing the interactions of a larger group of students. Secondly, academic excellence and access. The district's mission and goals are focused to drive academic excellence for our students. To support this goal, daily interactions with teachers at an early age remains critical for creating consistency and establishing a strong foundation for early learners. The in-person learning timeline. The hybrid in-person learning model. A hybrid model allows the district to split the students into two cohorts, which minimizes in-person class sizes. K-6 buildings in Stottlemyer will reopen at partial capacity with the following in place. First, they will use a combination of in-person and distance learning. Students attend school 2 days a week. Students will be placed in cohort A or B, which will be determined at the building level. All families will be placed in the same cohort. Depending on the class size, all pre-K students may attend every day. All students assigned to self-contained special education classrooms will not be assigned cohorts, but rather attend school in person, possibly 5 days a week. Just a tentative timeline for return to in-person learning, the hybrid model. November 9th, we would start all pre-K through 6th grade classrooms. Some of the special education programs are returning, and on January 19th, we would look to phase in, using a hybrid model, our 7th through 12th graders, as well as our resource programs and TC services. Talking about the K-6 grade and Stottlemyer schedule. The schedule would begin Monday, November 9th, the week of Monday, November 9th. Buildings will notify guardians of what cohort their child is in. And I can't stress this enough. Again, it will be done by buildings. It will take into consideration family members that attend the same school to try to get kids on the same days. Again, Monday through Friday, all students are at home will check in virtually for morning meetings with his or her teacher. On the days a student is not in attendance, he or she will be given work from his or her teacher to work on independently at home. So let's dive into the schedule a little bit. On Monday, all students, both cohort A and B, will be involved in distance learning virtually, where they have synchronous learning at home. Cohort A will meet in person Tuesday and Thursday. Cohort B will meet in person Wednesday and Friday. So let's start with Tuesday. Cohort A will meet in person with their teacher. Cohort B will be at home. Morning meetings with both cohorts to build community, take attendance, set expectations, and connect with students and answer questions will happen at the start of the day. Again, on Wednesday, Cohort B will come in person. Cohort A will check in the morning to kind of get the instructional roadmap from the teacher, setting expectations, and then we'll be able to work at home. Again, our decisions for return to school have and will continue to be based on the following criteria. We always look at the safety and well-being of our school community first and foremost. Grade 7 through 12 schedule. Distance learning through first semester. Student schedule will mirror the pre-K 6 model when students return for second semester January 19th. Students will be broken into cohort A and cohort B. Grades 9 through 12 will come in for final exams beginning on January 8th. The first hour exam for A through J, both at Wayne Memorial, John Glenn, and Tinkham, will happen from 10:50 to 12:20. The second hour exam will be 12:30 to 2 o'clock. Monday, January 11th, students with the last name K through Z will come in for their first hour exam at 10:50 and it will last till 12:20. K through Z, again, their second hour exam, they're already in the building, will happen from 12:30 to 2 o'clock. Again, this encompasses John Glenn High School, Wayne Memorial High School, and Tinkham High School. Tuesday, January 12th, A through J will come for their third and fourth hour exams. Their third hour exam will begin at 10:50 a.m. and go till 12:20. Their fourth hour exam will be from 12:30 to 2 p.m. Wednesday, January 13th, students with last name K through Z will come and take their third and fourth hour exams. The exam schedule for their third hour exam is 10:50 to 12:20, and then their fourth hour exam 12:30 to 2 o'clock. Thursday, January 14th, A through J will come and take their fifth and sixth hour exams, and you can read the times below. Friday, January 15th, students with last name K through Z will come and take their fifth hour and sixth hour exam. And this will be phasing in some in-person learning prior to us having students return January 19th. We'll have a more specific schedule and communication coming within the next couple weeks. Special populations in phase 4 and 5. Special population of students with significant needs and or IEP goals that make it challenging to achieve without some in-person direct instruction may qualify for some face-to-face instruction during phase 4 and 5. These decisions will be made in collaboration with the family and school staff. Services provided for these students will target individual specific goals and objectives as well as support the general education curriculum. Instruction will be a combined approach of face-to-face and virtual. IEPs may need to be amended to reflect change in delivery of support. The number one priority for us as a school district is the safety and well-being of our school community. Again, we're a community that cares about our students and each other. Your support of these guidelines protects your child and the essential adults, teachers, support staff, and administrators who are there every day to support and care for our students. Our success in continuing to transition is directly tied to every member of our school community doing everything they can to mitigate the spread of COVID-19. Self-screening. Students before school is essential to the health and safety of the school community. Before your student child leaves in the morning, ask these simple questions. In the past 10 days, has a student tested positive for COVID-19? In the past 14 days, has a student come in close contact with someone who has tested positive for COVID-19? Third question, is the student experience one or more of the following symptoms? Temperature of 104 degrees Fahrenheit or higher when taken by mouth, sore throat, new uncontrolled cough that causes difficulty breathing, diarrhea, vomiting, or abdominal pain, new onset of severe headache, especially with fever. The answer should be no to all of these questions. If not, your child should remain at home for the protection and the health and safety of his or her classmates and the adults in the building. Please call the school office to communicate any absences. Building protocols. The hybrid approach and the gradual return of defined cohorts supports the health and safety by reducing the number of students in a building at the same time and interaction amongst individuals. Our school staff members have been working collaboratively to establish the health measures that will be in place when our students return. These protocols include social distancing in the hallways and classrooms, regular scheduled hand washing with soap and water, limiting the sharing of personal items and supplies to small groups, and disinfecting between use, keeping students' personal items limited and making sure they are individually labeled and placed in a student cubby, desk, container, or backpack. Your child may have seen evidence of these protocols throughout various signage in the building. If you look to the right, it's just some examples of some of the signage that we have in every single building. Face coverings, masks. Face coverings provide an essential shield to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 from spreading from child to child, adult to child, child to adult, or adult to adult. Face coverings will be used by all individuals in the school at all times. This includes hallways, indoor common areas, and classrooms. The only exceptions will be during the meals or taking a water break. When removing the face covering to eat, students and adults should be touched by the strings, and students should be careful not to rub their eyes, nose, or mouth. If there is an underlying medical condition that impacts your child's ability to wear a face covering, please contact the school principal at your specific building. Who might be in contact of COVID-19? Classmates within 6 feet of someone with COVID-19, either in the classroom or on the bus for 15 or more minutes. Lunchmates, someone that eats lunch in close proximity. Again, we will social distance whether we eat in our lunchrooms or classrooms. Playmates, on the playground or gym within 6 feet of someone with COVID-19 for 15 consecutive minutes. Who might be a contact? Could be teammates. If a student plays athletic or contact sport, it could be from the opposing team, as we've seen cases emerge across the state. Other classmates could also be it. And again, it's being in close proximity within 6 feet of somebody for 15 consecutive minutes. Transportation on the bus, and even before I get to that, I want to thank all of our bus drivers and people that work in transportation for getting our buses ready to go. Also to help with our Wi-Fi mobile hotspots. Again, they've been such a huge help, and I just want to thank them for everything they do. When students get on the bus, some of the things they have to keep in mind. If you're receiving bus service, the commitment to the health and safety for in-person learning starts and ends each day at our bus stops. Prior to entering the bus, students will need to use hand sanitizer provided by the district and wear face coverings. The students should look to their driver for instruction on proper seating and distancing while they're on the bus, and the process for exiting the bus upon arrival to school or upon the arrival to being dropped off. Before and after each run, buses will be cleaned and disinfected, including frequently touched surfaces and any specialized equipment students may need to ride the bus safely. If weather permits, the windows will be open to allow the air to thoroughly circulate throughout the bus. I can't thank enough, since last March when COVID-19 first touched Michigan and the United States, our food service workers have been working so hard. And again, I do want to kind of have a shout out to them. Thank you again for being the unsung heroes during a very tough time. So we appreciate everything that they do on a daily basis. In the cafeteria, if meals are served in the cafeteria, we will use the following protocols. Students will wear face coverings until they are seated. Signage and floor markings will assist students with proper entry and exit points into the cafeteria. In addition, our staff will be using face coverings, masks, and gloves, and will be installing barrier protection where appropriate. We will also earmark proper seating, probably similar to what you see if you've been to a restaurant. Some buildings may have classes eat in their classrooms. This is going to be determined by each respective building to what's best for their specific school building. Real quick, we will still do food distribution. If a student's in cohort A and they come on Tuesday, we will give them 3 days worth of food. If they're cohort B and their first day is on Wednesday, we will give them pack up 3 days worth of food for them to take home. High school students and middle school students, 7th through 12th, will have to go to either Wayne Memorial's food distribution or John Glenn. Wayne Memorial's food distribution is Monday from 5 to 7 p.m. and John Glenn's food distribution is on Wednesday from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. The reason we do this is we understand a lot of families are working, so we wanted to make it more convenient for them. Recess. Elementary recess breaks. Building principals, in collaboration with their staff, will create and schedule recess breaks that'll ensure appropriate social distancing among students and reduces the interactions between groups of students. Students will need to wash their hands before and after playground use. COVID-19 communication. We are doing everything possible to keep students and staff safe. And designated space for students experiencing symptoms. For students who may be experiencing symptoms that appear related to COVID-19, a room has been designated for them to wait in until a family member arrives to pick them up. The room is disinfected after every use and ensures that we are doing everything possible to reduce possible exposure in our school. Just a reminder, the self-health checks. If your student is showing symptoms that they are not feeling well, please keep them at home. We can't reiterate that enough. We're all in this together. If a student is showing symptoms that they are ill, please keep them at home. Communication of COVID-19 cases. We will communicate to the entire school community. Direct contacts, emailed first. School-wide notice will be emailed. Notify the Wayne County Health Department. And I want people to keep in mind the privacy rights for individuals. Our district and our school cannot provide information that would identify the person to the general public. Your understanding is greatly appreciated. We are doing everything we can to keep both staff and students safe during this very difficult time. Visitors to school. We love having parent volunteers in our school. Unfortunately, we need to limit the interaction among adults and students to reduce the possible spread of COVID-19. Visitors are not permitted in our schools at this time. If you do have a need to meet personally with the school staff, please call ahead to make an appointment. Before you arrive, please make sure you have completed a self-screening process, wear a face covering, and use hand sanitizer as you enter the building. Be sure to have your photo ID available. Again, our secretaries might ask you to look at the sign in front of each of our entries. You will have to do the self-screening and be able to answer those questions and then show your photo ID to get access to the buildings. Resolving concerns. All decisions supporting the return to in-person learning are made to support the district's educational mission and what is in the best academic interests of our students. We also recognize that any change will have an impact on the Wayne Westland Community School families during this transition. Every member of our team is committed to serving our community and addressing their concerns. The following are helpful in working with our staff to resolve your concern. Conversations should be respectful, Be mindful that we may need time to gather more information. Always start at the level closest to your child. The individual who directly understands the specific issues in their school communities, and those who work directly with your child, your teacher, and even school principal. Communications, where to find information. We've done a phenomenal job, and I want to give a shout out to our communications team. They've worked diligently, and they've worked really since the end of July of really creating this space that we frame so much of our information on. Go to our Return to Learn webpage, some of the information you'll find: district letters, surveys, robocalls, FAQs, building district videos. Please use our social media accounts. We're always sending out information via Facebook, Twitter. And we have coming out an in-person instruction parent handbook that is going to detail a lot of our practice. We hope to launch that at the end of October. At the end of the day, communication is the key, both external and internal. Please be patient. Don't try to fill in the blanks. Give us time to get the messages out there. Things are changing. The sand is shifting and changing constantly. So it does change some of the facts, and it changed some of the information. Please give us ample time to communicate that. Again, we're all in this together. This is a wonderful school community. The more that we can communicate and work together, the better it's going to be for everybody involved. If you do have questions, concerns, whatever, please email them to info@wwcsd.net, and someone will either try to get back to you or it will show up on our FAQ. It's a great way to communicate. I know a lot of people already have been taking advantage of it. There's no foolish question. Understand people are going to have concerns. This is all new to all of us. Please feel free to use that as a vessel to communicate whatever concerns, issues, or questions that you have. And we do want to thank everybody that's played a part in this, because there have been so many people. The thing that is amazing the most to me is that at the core and the center of what we're doing are our kids. We're trying to base every single decision on what's best for our kids. We wouldn't be in business if it wasn't for our kids. So, great future start right here, and we're going to start another chapter of that here in the next few weeks. Thank you very much.